And today we're going to be doing a variation of a hairstyle that we posted pretty recently, and I'll put a link to that hairstyle if you haven't seen it. But to start this one, I've just made a basic ponytail. You can do this down lower or higher, whatever you want to do. And then you're going to take about 1/4 of the ponytail just on one side and begin braiding that. And I am working with wet hair here. If you don't like working with wet hair, you're probably going to need some gel or other product to keep the flyaways down. But split that section into 3 pieces and then just begin braiding. And then every time you're going to bring this side from the right over the middle, first you're going to remove a small section of hair. And you do want to take a pretty small section just so that you don't run out of hair before you get to the bottom of the braid. But just braid it in normally. And then every time you're on that side, just remove a section before you braid that in. You're just going to continue that all the way down. Okay, I'm going to stop about right there. I'm not to the very bottom. There's a couple inches left. So this is what it should look like at this point. And then I'm going to tie this side off. So after you've tied off the one side, now you're going to make a braid here on the other side. And you want to grab a little bit less hair than you started with over here because you're going to be adding in these strands, and so the braid is going to get thicker as you go down. So grab a small piece, split it into 3, and then again you're just going to begin braiding. This time, every time you cross this left strand over the middle, you're going to add a small strand from the other side. And you want to start with the one at the very top. And you don't want to get this too tight or it'll just kind of become one braid. I'm kind of pulling this way so that there is a amount of space between these 2 braids. Just try and keep the braid fairly even from the other side as you're going down. You may kind of need to adjust it as you're going, either pulling tighter or making it more loose. So now that we're to the bottom, there's a couple different ways you could end this. What I'm going to do is thread this ponytail through this very bottom strand. So I'm just going to reach in and grab the entire ponytail and kind of thread it right through. And then I'm going to secure that whole thing in the back. So I'm basically just taking these 2 braids and I'm tying them together behind the ponytail. And then the ponytail will just kind of hang over the top and you won't see the elastics. And then here at the top, you could have either started it by wrapping some hair or a braid around that elastic. We are going to be tying a ribbon over that. So that's the finished style. We also did another variation recently where we combined a couple of styles, and I will put a picture of that also with a link of how to do the top part. If you don't like this hair here at the bottom, you can either curl it, or if you wanted to, you could wrap it back up to the top and make an updo like this. There's a lot of different things you could do with this braid.